Imagine you're having an amazing time in Spain when you get rushed to the hospital unconscious. Your husband wants to honor your advance directive that says, no feeding tube. But the doctors say, we can't accept this American document. It's not certified for use in Spain.
Oh, thankfully, this didn't happen to us on our recent visit to Spain, but it easily could have.
And today we're sharing what we learned about apostille and authentication certifications so you can decide if this extra step is worth it for your international travel planning. Welcome to Thoughtful Planning. I'm Honey.
And I'm Santiago. We help families plan for their biggest moments without being overwhelmed.
This is a bonus episode following our 4-part travel series. After our recent trip to Spain, we discovered a gap in our planning that could affect anyone traveling internationally with advanced directives, also known as a living will, medical power of attorney, or any other legal documents.
Now, quick note, we're not lawyers. We're not giving any legal advice. This is just things that we've learned through our own research. Always consult professionals such as your attorney or your doctors for any specific situation, and check the requirements with your destination country's embassy or mission.
Here's today's essential question. If you had a medical emergency abroad and couldn't speak for yourself, would foreign doctors be able to legally honor your advance directives and medical power of attorney?
So when we got back from Spain, we felt rested. We were feeling pretty good about all of our travel planning. We had our travel insurance figured out. We had the digital access set up. We had our trusted contacts information filled out.
But here's the thing. We did not have our advance directives, medical power of attorney, or any other legal document with us. So I'm currently auditing an end-of-life planning class, and the instructor mentioned that when you travel internationally or even locally, you should have your advance directives with you. And that got me thinking, what if something had happened to us in Spain, even if we had brought our Texas documents? Would they actually be legally recognized there?
Well, that's when we fell down a research rabbit hole and discovered the apostille, and authentication certification requirements.
Apostille and authentication are official certifications of your U.S. documents for use in foreign countries. If you have an apostille or authentication, then your documents should be recognized. They can only be refused if they cannot be verified, which is why the apostille certificate includes a verification website. Countries verify an apostille by checking it against the issuing authority's official online registry or by contacting them directly.
Yeah, so a quick reality check. Look, every country has different laws about advanced directives and other legal documents. Our U.S. documents might be recognized, but as we understand it, only if we had that apostille certificate or the authentication certificate in place.
First, and this is critical, you need to verify that both the country you reside in and your destination country are currently part of something called the Hague Convention. Both countries must be members for apostilles to work.
Now, remember, like with anything, things change. So a country's status could change whether they're in the convention or not. The latest countries to join the convention, for example, China, Canada, Rwanda, and Vietnam. Canada kind of surprised me a little bit, but they joined last year. As of 2025, no countries have ever left the convention, but you can't assume that every original signature person that joined later is still a part of it. So you should always check the current status table on the Hague Conference website before you start this process.
In August of 2025, we found out that both the US and Spain are currently part of this convention, which means apostilles work between these countries. The process for completing the documents varies by state, so you'll want to go to the official website for the Secretary of State for your state. For example, You can go online and search Texas Secretary of State Apostille.
So be sure, like with anything that you're dealing with paperwork and certifications, make sure you have plenty of time to do this. As of August 2025, when we were doing this recording, Texas takes up to 1 month from the date of receipt to process mail documents completely.
In addition, each certification currently costs $15. Again, keep in mind, these fees may change, so verify current costs with your state.
You'll also want to consider having the documents translated according to your state rules to the language of the country you're going to. Thankfully for us, Texas website offers advanced directives in both English and in Spanish.
So for our situation, and everyone's situation could be different, contact the embassy or mission of the country you are traveling to and or your attorney. We estimate we would need 4 documents at least. We would need our living will, medical power of attorney, HIPAA release form, and our out-of-hospital DNR forms. We estimate we would also need them in Spanish too. So we'd be looking at a total of 8 documents each. That would be estimated at a total of $120 each, plus postage, plus notarization cost, if any. Since we use a free service offered by our county, there may not be any fees, plus translator fees, which would probably be minimal since we would be using the state translated forms.
So now, if a country is not a part of the Hague Convention, in addition to the state's apostille or authentication document, you need to go to the State Department's authentication certification process, which could take up to an additional 5 to 6 weeks, plus pay the fees to the State Department. And as of today, again, August 2025, that's an additional $20 per document. So when you look at the 4 documents that we're talking about each, that's going to run you another $160 plus postage and handling.
So we're probably talking about preparation for a very rare scenario. I mean, we were very lucky for us, but one that could be critical if it does happen. For some people, this peace of mind might be worth it. If you have serious medical conditions, if you're traveling for extended periods, or if you want maximum preparation for worst case scenarios, this process exists.
Okay. Well, you say it's rare, but you did get a little ill on the boat. I mean, when we were on our cruise. So, just with that, just knowing that she got a little ill, and they took care of it right then and there. But if it would have gotten worse, it would have been nice to have those documents on us.
Right. So for our next international travel, we've decided to follow the apostille or authentication process, depending on the country we're visiting.
So we've already started the research. Honey's emailed our lawyer to confirm exactly which forms we're going to need for specific situations. And you should probably do the same with your own attorney.
I also reached out to our cruise line, and they've forwarded our questions to their legal department for confirmation. The bottom line is, if you know where you're going and you know the medical facility you might use, you can contact them directly for that extra confirmation.
Yes. So with the proper certifications, the documents should be honored. Just having that peace of mind, for us at least, is worth that extra time and money. If this episode has got you thinking, here are some action steps for you to take.
First, if you're considering international travel, research if the country you reside in and the country you're traveling to are in the Hague Convention.
Second, if both countries are in the convention, you follow the apostille process as we described. But if the country that you're visiting is not a part of the convention, you need to go through the authentication process through the State Department. We'll put the link in the show notes to the travel.state.gov site where they explain the entire requirement and the process you have to go through and any additional steps and fees that might be associated with this.
Third, research your state's apostille process. Every state is different. You can do an online search for your state's name, Secretary of State, apostille.
Fourth, consider the forms should be translated into the language of the country that you're going to. For additional questions, consider communicating with the embassy or the mission of where you're going to. Talk to your attorney, talk to your travel agent, doctors, and the country you'll be traveling to for peace of mind.
And if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss our future episodes about planning for life's unexpected moments.
So let's come back to our essential question. If you had a medical emergency abroad and you couldn't speak for yourself, would the foreign doctors be able to legally honor your advance directives and your medical power of attorney?
And the answer is maybe or maybe not. Now you are aware of apostille and authentication certifications to increase the chances your documents will be recognized and you can make informed decisions.
Really, the most important thing is having these conversations with your travel partners, making sure someone that's with you knows your wishes, and it's always best to have the proper documents with you.
Until next time, remember every chapter you write today shapes your legacy tomorrow. Thank you for joining us at Thoughtful Planning.